Good evening to all present here at the 14th annual edition of Chennai Storytelling Festival 2026. I'm Haritha Kannan. I'm a storyteller, puppeteer, and I'm joining from Chennai, that's in Tamil Nadu, India. I love to tell stories in my mother language, Tamil, and also in English. And I take storytelling sessions, workshops, and trainings related to that. This is the third time I'm presenting my workshop idea in Chennai Storytelling Festival with lots of gratitude to Dr. Eric Miller for his overall idea and taking this forward every year. This workshop's topic is thinking outside the box through stories. Let me start with first things first. Why I think thinking out of the box is quite challenging for me as a person. Since childhood, I was always been a studious child. Subjects, marks, they were quite easy for me. And interviews also were easy for me because it was mostly based on the major that I've taken. But coming to the real world scenarios of working hands on at different client locations, different use cases, and different scenarios, it was not a piece of cake for me. Because since childhood, I was given a set of books, a set of rules to be followed, and it was easy for me to do. But all of a sudden, I felt like someone who was holding my hand, they dropped that hold. And it was up to me to decide which is the best possible solution. Are there any backlogs that needs to be offered a solution? And there were 360-degree kind of questions that need to be answered as a developer when I was working in the IT industry. And it was really hard for me. And when I became a storyteller, it was a new perspective for me. Every story that I read, it was like, wow, how can even someone tell a story like this? How can even write a story like this? Every story, I felt it was just out of the box. Maybe I was not exposed to many stories and books when I was a child. So, this was the basic idea of how stories, the books, the narratives can help a child or an individual to outshine themselves in any area that they're working on. And as a storyteller, I have great respect for every story that I hear or I read or I present. So today we'll be doing some tweaks for the stories that we are going to listen to or we are going to work on. So, but I do have lots of respect for the original form of the story itself. If possible, I request you to turn on the videos or else you can just give your lending ears. As the title says, for a moment, shall we do a riddle and let's see if we can think out of the box. For that, if you can have a paper and pencil or pen, do grab it. It's a dot activity where you're going to solve a puzzle. There are 9 black dots here. Can you join the 9 dots using 4 lines? No dot should be missed, no overlapping. Just using 4 straight lines, is it possible for you to join all the 9 dots? Let's take a few minutes to find a solution. If you don't have a paper pen, you can feel free to use your fingers on the screen and see if you can join all the 9 dots using 4 lines. Yeah, for those who are joined just now, we are trying to do an out of the box activity. Here, there are 9 black dots given. See if you can join all the 9 dots using 4 lines. Make sure that none of the dots are left behind and no overlapping of lines. If you have found a solution, please feel free to share. Is anyone there with the solution that you have found? Or it can be any possible things that you have drawn connecting the nine dots. Oh, yes, I can see Umayal. One second, Umayal. Oh, thank you, Umayal.
So
So there
adding a
shouldn't
E
be
and
overlap. Okay, thank you. The wonderful idea. Was there an overlapping of lines?
no.
Did you
For the
backtrack
S,
it?
there was no overlapping. For E, I took,
Okay,
for S, it was.
okay, fine, wonderful. Okay, the tricky part was using four lines, but this is a good solution because there was no overlapping. And yeah, well done, Umayya. Can you show again, Umayya? Okay.
Sorry. The S has 5 lines. Sorry. I
Yes,
didn't check it. The E
that's fine. That's
has.
fine. Okay. Well tried, Umayya. My appreciation to you. Is there any possible solution?
It can be a triangle with a line across.
Okay. We are supposed to fill without taking out the pen, in one go.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. Just
Oh,
drawing a diagonal from out to the other end, draw a straight line vertically, extending to the third dot, and then again coming to horizontally to this end and connecting the base.
okay. I think that's a
I'll
good
just show you
solution. If can you show Vijay Lakshmi if possible?
that.
And
Just a
Renu,
minute.
Sophie, Bard, if you have any solution, do share. That's okay, Renu. Can you show whatever solutions that you tried? It will motivate us in making mistakes.
Is this correct? See, you have to just
Yes,
come
one
this way.
second. I've just highlighted Renu. Renu, can you show us the possible solutions? 1 second, Vijay Lakshmi. No, okay, Re. Fine.
I didn't get a solution, Haritha.
No, whatever you have tried, can you please show us just to see the thinking process?
I only you'll have to bring it this way.
Like this. Z.
Okay, fine. Okay, Renu, no problem. And Vijay Lakshmi, yes.
You have to
Okay.
just come this way.
Yes,
Up.
that's right, Vijay Lakshmi. That's right. Yeah, well done. Yes, congrats. That's a great job. Great job, everyone. Renu, Sophie, Vijay Lakshmi, and Umayal for trying. Let me just go back to the slide. Yes, Vijay Lakshmi, you've got it. So here, if you see, there was no box given, but in our mind, we think the dots are actually in a box, and we are not supposed to go outside the box, isn't it? When I told the riddle, I never said don't go above outside the limits of the dots. So the clue is thinking outside the dots. You know, just expand outside the invisible box that our mind usually creates. When there are 9 dots, we draw an imaginary box around it and we think we shouldn't extend or think beyond those dots or the lines. But the clue here is to solve this puzzle, definitely we need to go outside the box, just like how Vijay Lakshmi has drawn. Can you try drawing it? If you try to draw in one go, we will be able to connect all the 9 lines with 4 minimum lines and without taking off our hands. Shall we go to the next part? Yes. So the basic idea of thinking outside the box is not to think in this traditional way, just go beyond the limits that we mentally have within our own brain. This is the only possible solution. Don't thinking that way. What if we can ask more question? Why this happened? What if something else can happen? What if some other intruder was present? So asking more questions, especially with the story or the basic idea that we all have in our own mind. For this, let's do an activity. There are many famous folklores, isn't it? We tell the stories to the children or to the adults. We just stop there. Let's take the classic story of the woodcutter. The woodcutter lost his axe in a river, and the angel came 3 times. First time she came a silver axe, the second time she came with the gold axe, and the third time she came with the old rusty one with the woodcutter's own axe. And the woodcutter was so honest that he didn't accept the gold and silver, and he agreed only to the last axe, his own axe. In return, the angel gave him, you are so honest, take all the 3 acts. We just stop the story there. What if we can question the children or the adults? What happened after the story? What is the woodcutter going to do with all the 3 axes? Isn't it? How can we draw parallel of this story to any product or service that we are offering? Let's imagine I have a bakery. I give a cake to a customer. Is my service going to end there? It goes beyond that, isn't it? Do they really like it? How long is the shelf life? Is the cream or the cake level up to what the customer is expecting? So there are so many other questions after the service or the product we give to the customer. Is there any answer from you? What is the woodcutter going to do with all the 3 axes that he has taken home? Yes, Renu.
Haritha, firstly, I don't believe in getting rewards or being honest. So I would like to change the story, saying that
Yes,
when the
definitely.
man says this is not mine, he takes only his own, and the spirit of the river says, "Very good. Now this axe will bring you lots of luck. Keep working." So the man goes back home. He continues using his, but he works harder because the lady has said that, and now he makes so much money, he doesn't have to worry about anything anymore. Because I just don't believe this. You tell the truth and you get rewarded. So that means you're saying that every time you do something good, you should do it because that's the right thing to do, not because you're going to be rewarded. That is my personal opinion.
Yes, Renu. That's another continuation part of the same story. Yes, I totally agree with you.
That
Is there
is,
any other story?
there
Yes,
is an
Renu.
extension of the story, right? Some neighbor gets jealous and he also goes there and he says, I want the silver and the
Yes.
gold. And then of course he
Yes.
loses all three, something like
Yeah,
that.
all the 3. Yes, definitely. Is there any other version that one of you wants to share? You can even chat or unmute and speak. Sophie, do you have any way of
Yes,
continuing the story, Sophie?
yeah. Maybe he again works with the same axe and then he sells the other 2 axes and gives to the other needy like him.
Okay. Okay. He gives to the people in need. Okay. I want to draw parallel of this to the startups that we have, isn't it? We go in for lots of pitches as a startup. We imagine you get lots and lots of money as a funding for your startup. But we need to have some clarity on how much I'm going to spend on the product, how much I'm going to spend on building the factory or inventory, and how much I'm going to do for the marketing, isn't it? What if we can use stories right from the beginning of a child to think in different perspectives? You have come to the end of a story, but instead of stopping there, what if we can ask simple questions to the child? What is he going to do? What the king is going to do next? What the minister is going to do next? Or what the princess is going to do next? A small question. The child or the adult may not have the answer immediately, but simple questions, making them to think in those ways, do you think it can help them as an adult when they are going to work in a company or when they are going to start their own entrepreneurship journey? Isn't it? So the first option I would suggest, or the technique that I would suggest, is whenever we share a story, after the ending, let's have lots and lots of open-ended questions where it can be just like a different perspective where Renu shared the perspective of she will not accept any freebies that comes. She will only fit to her hard work. But if someone accepts all the three gifts, what are they going to do? What is the best case that they are going to do with all the gifts received? So here are the other stories that we have. What happened to the crow after the fox got the cheese? What is the crow going to do? Because in the story of the crow and the fox tricks the crow and he gets the cheese and he runs away. The crow is still on the tree and he's lamenting about it. What if you think that his mother comes, questions the crow? What is his reply going to be?
Can I?
Yes, Renu, please, Renu.
Are you asking the question to us? What happened to the crow after the
Yes,
fox got
yes,
cheese? Okay.
yes.
Then the
Imagine
mother
his
comes
mother
and
has
says,
come. Yes.
so then the crow will say, next time I will not believe anything that anybody says. I will use my brain and then I'll decide whether I should listen to that person or not.
That's perfect. That's the same format of story that I tell to my children also. Use your brain to decide what is right and what is wrong before committing any action. Thank you, Renu. Any other thoughts on this story? The crow and the fox? Okay, in that case, let's proceed. So the first technique is, after telling a story, let's not stop right there. Let's encourage the students to ask more and more WH questions like what, why, when, where, how. So it will definitely encourage them to think in a broader perspective as they grow. So the second technique of thinking outside the box is the object flip. The object flip is a technique where you don't see the object with the label or the name that is generally given. It can be in any language, but look at the specific attributes of it, the color of it, the size of it, the weight of it, even the texture, the feel of it. Let's take this classic story of stone soup. A traveler walks into a village with just a stone and a pot. Nobody offers him food when he was hungry. So he just flipped the entire story or the entire object that he had in his hand. What he did, he put the stone that he had inside the pot and he told everyone, this is a magic stone. I'm going to prepare a yummy soup. And he just poured water in it and set the flame. And we all know what gradually happened, isn't it? A child came in, and then the child gave onion. And another child came, he gave mushrooms and carrots. Slowly, all the villagers came and they gave lots and lots of vegetables, peppers, salt. And then it turned out to be a big food festival where the entire village sat together and then they had the soup. But the idea was just simple. The traveler, he didn't see the stone as just a stone. It was like a catalyst for him to give food for his hunger. Do you agree? So he just flipped the narrative of the story that is related to the object. Let's imagine anything that is lying around your home. If we can dissociate the name and gives any other unique name to it, do you think the entire narrative that is associated with the object will also change? We can take the case of a glass bottle. Instead of drinking the juice and throwing it away, we have seen many people using it as a instrument where music is played, isn't it? Or it can be used as an art piece where people carve different colors, paint on it, and sell it. So it is going to be the same object, but the narrative that is given to the object is going to change. Is there any object that is around you in your home where instead of telling the particular name, you can identify a different story that can be associated with the object. It can be your pillow. And the best thing is the cardboard box, isn't it? A child can make anything out of the cardboard box, but as an adult, we just see it as a container or a holder that can be used for sending the parcels. Just look around your house, you can find any object, random object, and see if you can flip the narrative around the object. Is there anyone who can try the challenge?
The 5 liter water bottle, it can be changed into a flower pot.
Yes, that's true,
Yes, for
Sophie.
plants. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, even the bottles, plastic bottles can be used as planters also, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
So while you're thinking, let me share the story of Pet Rock. This story happened in 1975 by a person called Gary. He was in a bar enjoying his drinks along with his friends. So his friends jovially challenged him. Okay, Gary, life is so boring. I know you're also running out of money. What if you can do something innovative and we want you to challenge that you will become a millionaire with that innovation. So what Gary did, he just picked a pebble that was there in the outskirts of the bar. He boxed it neatly. As you can see in this picture, he put that neatly in a container or the cardboard box. He gave the name as Pet Rock, like pet cat, pet dog, pet parrot. He said, this is a pet rock. And he said, this doesn't need any food. This doesn't need any maintenance. You need not give it a shower. You need not take it outside for a walk. You need not even clean it now and then. Just buy it. Keep it as a pet when you're eating, reading a book, going for a walk. Wherever you go, this pet is just there for you as a best companion. And imagine he sold it for $4 in 1975 and he became the millionaire of that year in America. What he did was just taking a stone, changed the narrative around that stone, and then he just sold it. Do you think it was a wonderful idea that he flipped the narrative that is associated with the rock? What we would have done is just walk over the rock or just push it aside when it would have been lying in our way. So even a stone can give a different perspective or a different narrative for us to create a story and sell it to the people. I think the opportunities that are lying around us are many. And another real world example I would like to quote here are the phones. The classic Nokia phones where only buttons were there, which were initially used for communication. But now the same phone, how much has it evolved? When I go outside, I don't carry my purse these days, isn't it? It is my wallet. It is just there like a camera for me, a recorder for me. And even for emergency, I have a button. So it is like a lifesaver also for me, isn't it? So the narrative that is associated with the phones has also changed over the years. It is just us, instead of thinking in the same straight line, whatever object it is, just chop off the name associated with it or the label associated with it and focus on what attributes are existing or what all new attributes we can add to it. Just like stone soup, is there any other story that comes to your mind for this concept of object flip? Okay, let's do a challenge.
So,
Imagine
Haritha,
we all. Yes, Rin. Yes, who is it? Yes, Divya,
Divya.
please go ahead. Yes, Divya.
I don't know if it's an object flip, but the top of the mind recall was in the story of Hansel and Gretel. These
Okay.
kids they drop some crumbs along the way and then they go.
Yes.
So the crumbs also act as a um, directional help kind
Yes.
of.
Very well said, Divya. It's like a wayfinder or a map, isn't it?
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, of course. Whatever it is, it was a pebble or it was a seed. Instead of looking it as a seed, they looked it as a wayfinder. Yeah, that's a good idea. Associate that can be associated with object flip. I agree with you, Divya.
One more story. The old
Yes,
donkey
Sophie.
that when it fell into a big pit and they threw mud on that, it turned that into a stepping stone and it came out.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I agree with you. I even have that as an example for the next technique. I agree with you, Sophie. That is well quoted. Thank you. So this term of looking at the object as they are, that can be associated with the use instead of looking at the other possible solution. This is called function fitness. Fixedness, this is the main enemy of thinking outside the box. We have this functional fixedness, but if you see a child, given a mirror, the child would use it to draw on it, you know, he can have many other uses for the same mirror. What we will do is just look at it and our face, but he can use it to control the natural resources, bring in the energy at one point. It can be many, but we are, as an adult, we have this function fitness where we just focus on only one use that can be associated with the object. So for thinking outside the box, the first thing we can do is just break the functional fixedness that can be associated with the object. Just try anything possible apart from what the real use of the object is. Okay, these are some examples I have quoted here. A Coke bottle, which is used to hold juice or soda, it can be used as a musical instrument, a tool, or sometimes breaking it can become a weapon also in times of danger. And a weak glue, this is another example that I'll be quoting. And the steel container, I've seen the story of a lady from Chennai where she has bought lots of containers, the containers that are left behind in the ports. She just remodeled it as compact homes and she's selling it for lakhs of rupees. And now she's also been listed as one of the top millionaires in India. So instead of throwing away the waste, what she has thought is, what if it can be used for building a home with less investment? So let's go to the third technique of lateral thinking. Lateral thinking is when you have a problem, just don't go and look at it as it is, just move aside. Take a few steps aside and see in any other way possible. It can be like, from instead of thinking forward to back, you have a problem, just try to reverse it. Go in the reverse direction, or you take a particular incident in the problem and see how that happened. So instead of looking for a direct solution, look for any other creative methods that are available here. The story that I've quoted here is like, as Umayal also pointed, the donkey in the well. Once upon a time, there was a donkey, and the owner, as he was walking on the road, the donkey fell into a abandoned well. The owner tried many ways to pull the donkey outside, and at one point of time, he was so tired that he decided, anyways, this donkey is very old. Let me just get rid of it. So, with a heavy heart, he kept throwing mud on the donkey. Initially, the donkey also started to cry a lot. But after some time, the donkey just shook off all the mud and he kept keeping his leg over the mud. And in over the time, he just built a ladder kind of a thing out of the mud and he himself helped to come out of the well. So the lateral thinking idea here is, the donkey, he did not just lie down accepting the mud. What he did was try to raise above the mud that was thrown on him and save himself. One more best example is the story of the thirsty crow. Given a pot with less water, anyone, even humans, birds, or animals, we will tend to put our hand inside or the beak inside. But this is just the reverse of it. Instead of us putting our hand inside, or the crow putting its beak inside, the crow applied the idea of lateral thinking. What if the water can come up instead of my beak going inside? So he took the pebbles that was lying around and he put one by one inside, and slowly all the water started to come to the rim of the pot and he was able to drink. Is there any story that comes to your mind where the reverse logic was applied? Okay, let me also share a story, the story of two pebbles. Once upon a time, there was a man who had a daughter and they have got money from a money lender. And over the time, the man was not able to give back the money. Now, the money lender gave two conditions. Either you have to give the money back to me or I'm going to marry your daughter. And for that, he said, I'm going to have two pebbles in my bag. If you pick the black pebble, I'm going to marry your daughter. If you pick the white one, your money will be waived off, and also I'm not going to marry your daughter. So this little girl, she was clever. She was watching what color stones the man is going to put inside the bag. As she observed, the money lender, he was so cunning. He put two black pebbles inside the bag. And the girl picked the stone, and as soon as she picked it, she dropped it on the ground. Now she was looking at the ground and she said, oh, I'm so clumsy. My hands are so clumsy. Okay, anyways, if I try to pick the other stone, I will come to know what stone I dropped. So the other stone that was in the bag was the black one. And everyone, whoever was watching, will think that it was the white stone that dropped. Whatever she picked was the white stone. White stone means she is going to be freed from the money and also from marrying the money lender. Instead of crying, shouting, or even fighting with the money lender, the girl here applied her creative idea of thinking laterally and then giving a unique solution to the problem that was put by the money lender. From your books, is there any story that you can relate with lateral thinking?
Haritha?
The cap seller story.
Yes, Sophie. Yes.
The
How do you
cap
think
seller
that can
story.
fit with the lateral thinking?
You know what? He tried to do, just throw it off, no? Then again, it saw and it also tried to throw all the caps.
Okay. Okay. Instead of chasing the monkeys, chasing behind the
Yeah.
monkey, had the act of throwing the cap. Very good, Sophie. That's a good association with lateral thinking. And Divya,
The
you had
stone soup.
something to...
I think Umayal wants to
The
say.
stone soup.
Yes, Umayal. Can you please tell how it can be associated with
The
lateral
story
thinking?
of the stone, because
Yes, Umayal.
he knew that the old lady was not going to give him. He knew that the old lady was not going to give him food. So he said, I can make food
Okay.
with just a stone.
Okay. Okay. Instead of begging the old lady or maybe trying, even himself trying to cook, he made all the others to prepare the soup. I agree with you, Umayal. Yes, that story can fit in this logic of lateral thinking. Divya, you had a story to share?
Uh, I'm thinking many of these Tenali Rama stories or Akbar Birbal stories a lot in this kind
Yes,
where there
definitely.
is this intelligence applied and there are many of the stories. So I'm not picking anyone, but there are a lot in which
Okay.
this some kind of smart thinking is applied and then the solution is found.
Okay, agreed with you, Divya. I'd like to quote one real life invention that was done. We all use this post-it notes, the color ones over the fridge or even in our work desk. A person, he invented this glue, and the company said this is of no use because it sticks very lightly. It sticks very lightly, and we cannot use it for our requirements. They wanted to bind bigger objects, heavier objects. So for years, nobody accepted his idea, and he himself felt down that this is of no use, and he was about to throw it. That inventor's friend, Dr. Fry, he said, what if we can make use of this glue for temporary fixing, like a bookmark in my book while I'm reading a novel, or like a bookmark in my office walls, where I can just remove it off once the work is done. So this made the invention of post-it notes, and it was also a viral invention of those days. And it has taken so many forms even now, like different shapes, different colors, different uses. But the idea here is invention was made, but a proper use case associated with this was not there, and it was just put it in the storeroom. But finding a proper use case and then fitting this invention was the idea of lateral thinking applied here. We have a product, we don't know who the customer is. What if we can just apply the reverse logic? I have a customer. What if I have a customer with a specific requirement. What if I can develop a service for according to his requirements? Or what if I can develop a product according to his requirement? What if I can alter my existing product according to whatever he is expecting? So now, if possible, can we do an activity? If you are available to go in the breakout room, if you can please raise your hand. Yes, thank you, Divya. Yes, I see Renu, Divya, Kajal. Yes, thank you. Can I put two of you in each room? Hello, Kajal. Hello, Rachel. And we have seen three techniques so far: asking a question after a story, and applying lateral thinking as an idea, and also object flip. You have an object, but you just change the entire story that can be associated with an object. It can be an umbrella, it can be a mirror, it can be a tin can, and see how you can sell it to your customer or how you can build a narrative on it. Divya, can you help me in putting the breakout rooms?
Haritha, what are we going to discuss in that room?
Take any concept of this. Oh, do you
Okay.
want to try object flip or the lateral thinking? See how you can build a product or a service that you can sell it to your customer. You can take an
Okay.
umbrella that's lying around you. See how you can change the narrative around it and sell it to your customer.
Okay.
It can be any object that's near you. Kajal, do you want to share something?
No, I was thinking if anyone can choose one of the topics, we might get more ideas actually. The group
Okay, you
can
want
go
to
for any
discuss
of
here?
the ones. Yeah.
You want to discuss
No,
it here,
the
Kajal?
no breakout room. They
Okay.
can select one
Yes,
of the
yes.
topics, and even if they don't get a chance to speak, they can always put it in the chat, right? We'll get more ideas. That's what we are here for. Correct. And thank
Okay,
you so
fine.
much.
Okay. So I'm just opening the breakout rooms for 10 to 15 minutes. Do you get the option to join the breakout rooms?
I'm still here in the main room.
Hi, Eric.
Yes,
Yeah, I've just given a breakout room activity.
yes. So, but we have about 10 people with their cameras turned off. Not 10, 8 people with their cameras turned off who are here with us.
Yes. I'm just moving the people who had their camera on to the active room. I'll just make that shift.
Okay. So the 7 or 8 people here with their cameras turned off.
Yes.
Maybe we'll pause the recording now, I think.
Okay, Eric. Thank you, everyone. There was lots of interesting discussions in the room. Do you want to share any findings or learnings that you had in the room?
Quickly, we had some very interesting discussions. We were talking about the broken pot, where the pot with a hole is used to water the way. That was a very interesting object flip that we came up with. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that one story which which I found very interesting to connect with this.
Okay, Ramya. Thank you. Sophie.
We discuss about the toothbrush turning into, Renu gave an idea that the toothbrush we use for cleaning, and I have this pin cap I used to put on for the clothes on the cloth hanger and for the calendars, not to top all those things, and that we were talking about that. And also regarding the later thinking part, I shared that uh, regarding the donkey story, that each one gave suggestions. We can tell the children and think about whether it's opinion or a fact, and then based on that,
Okay,
that is what
that's
I
great.
can recall.
That's great, Sophie. Thank you. Renu?
Sophie and I were together, Haritha. So we were
Okay.
talking about the same thing.
Okay, fine. Divya, do you have any findings?
Same here. Ramya, me, and Sangeeta were in the same room. So we were also talking about the object flip. We spoke about how a pen could be used in multiple ways. In fact, Sangeeta also mentioned that even a non-functional pen, it could be used for origami to,
That's true.
make the creases
Yes, yes,
very
yes.
distinct. So we spoke a bit about that. And of course, we also spoke about the donkey story. So yeah, that was our
Wonderful.
discussion.
Wonderful findings, Divya. Thank you. I see Sangeeta's hand up. Sangeeta, are you there?
Is it me?
Yes. Sangeeta, do you have any findings to share?
I was in the same room with Divya and we discussed the same things as Divya and Ramya.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Sangeeta. Okay, let's continue with the workshop. Many different new ventures that are launched, if you see, they have done the lateral thinking of going back to forward. The invention of Amazon.in. When we expected the customers to come to the shop and buy the things, they just flip the entire story, isn't it? They wanted the customer to just stay at home. What if we can go and deliver the products? The same idea is with the Airbnb, where when people find it very costly to spend on hotel rooms, what if there are small houses or rooms and they are ready to rent a part of their home as to become a earning for themselves, and also for travelers from around the world, it will be cost effective for them to rent a small portion of any room that is available in a tourist spot, and it is kind of a win-win solution, isn't it? So these are all beautiful ideas that is with respect to out of the thinking, given a problem, how they found different solutions. And I have a particular question. Imagine you are in a crowded restaurant and you don't have any space to sit. What you would do? Will you just wait for whatever time that was being told by the waiter? Or is there any other solution that you can find? You are specific that you want to take food from only from that hotel. What are the things that we can do?
Check with them whether they can pack the food and give us,
Yeah,
or
that's wonderful,
they can
That
deliver
is good.
it.
At home. Okay. We can check again whether we'll get a package. We just go to the nearest park or any open space, we can eat there. Or even if we can find one seater that is free, we can just ask the customers if we can make use of the seat that is available and have the food there. Okay. Let's continue. So we have seen 3 ideas so far, and now let's go to the 4th one. This is story surgery. I didn't want to use the word surgery here because I don't want to do a surgery on any story. I found that harmful for the story itself. So I added a new name called the thief in the story. Here, all the characters are given in the story. What you're going to do is act as a thief and take any crucial part of it. For example, in the Cinderella story, you're going to take the magic out of it. What is going to happen if you take the magic out of it? If we can give this kind of questions to the children or to even adult audience, they must definitely find in a solution to continue the story in a way that starting is there, an interesting plot is there in the middle of the story, and of course an ending can also be done. And I also like to quote the story of Hare and the Tortoise. Here, what if the tortoise can dictate the rules of the game? Instead of the normal narrative, what if we give the option to the tortoise? Okay, tortoise, you decide how the race is going to be conducted. The tortoise can say, what if the race can happen in the river? You know, it will be easy for the tortoise maybe, but for the hare, it can be challenging, isn't it? So even without the hare being sleeping for some time, the chances of tortoise winning the race is quite high. So in any classic stories, what kind of story surgery or the thief in the story you want to be? Imagine you're going to be the thief, you enter the story and you're going to take one crucial part of the story. Coming back even to the honest woodcutter, you take the angel out of the story, how the story can change. Is there any
Can I
story
answer,
that comes to
Haritha?
your mind? Yes, Renu.
In the woodcutter story, we can remove the water spirit and say that the woodcutter was an excellent swimmer. So he just dives into the river,
Yes.
goes down, holds his breath, rolls down, finds the axe, and comes back up.
Yes,
We
this
don't
can
really
be such
need.
a motivational story, isn't it? We need not believe or trust on anyone, depend on anyone, and we can be self-satisfying in achieving a dream.
Yeah.
That's good, Renu. Yes. What other classic stories that we can take and imagine you can do be the thief in the story. Just take one crucial part of it.
So in the Cinderella story, as you said, if the fairy is taken off, all the things that given by the fairy is taken off, then I think Cinderella doesn't need those skills. She'll be using a normal chapel. She'll be going on her own, and she would not have seen the time to return back, and she'd be there with the prince, and they would have
Okay.
married that day itself.
That's a quick solution to that. Being the thief, you have done lots of good to Cinderella. That's beautiful, Sophie. Yes, Kajal, your
So,
thief in which story?
removing the drops from Snow White.
Oh, okay. That's a big thing to be stolen from a story, I think.
Yeah, but it would really change the outcome. Maybe she will never eat
Okay.
that apple because
Okay.
she'll learn her own ways. She will learn from her mistakes. The thing is, drops were protecting her. So her learning, because drops would go out and work and she would stay at home. But when we go
Okay.
outside the home, we face all the challenges. She wasn't challenged enough. So maybe when she's challenged enough, she would be much more careful in taking that apple from a stranger, right?
That's true. Yes.
Nice
That is a
topic, huh?
Probably
self
extending what
enabling story, isn't it? She enabled herself without the drops. She has to survive. It's kind of survival of the fittest. She can enable herself in fruitful ways and still survive. Okay. That's well
Haritha,
told. Yes, Reno.
I want to give another twist to Cinderella's story.
Yes, please.
There is no fairy, like Divya said that, right? I don't know who said that. Oh, Sophie said.
Sophie
So
said.
there's no fairy. And now Cinderella's sisters and her mother have gone out. And Cinderella's thinking, even I would like to go out. What shall I do? So she goes out, no new clothes, no high heels, nothing. So she thinks, what shall I do? She sees an old bicycle lying there. And so she gets onto the bicycle and starts cycling. And then she sees all the sights around her. She explores this, explores that. She finds it wonderful to be outside. Finally, she reaches the palace and she goes in, and then the prince sees her and he starts dancing with her. Then he says, will you marry me? She says, no, I don't want to marry you. I had so much fun on being on my own. I was exploring. Now you will put me in another golden cage. I'd rather be by myself. So bye bye, tata. And she goes off.
That's altogether a different and lovely Cinderella story.
Very independent Cinderella. Today's woman.
That's
She
quite
doesn't need a man.
so quick. You have done a quick one. Fantastic, Renu.
Yeah.
Others, if you have any ideas, do put it in the chat. It's mutual learning here. Yes, Divya, you have any idea
Yeah,
in which
I
story
was.
you want to play the thief?
I think I was extending Snow White, but I was just thinking probably the mirror on the wall wouldn't be what it would be saying. No, you are the beautiful, you are the most beautiful, you are the most fairest, and all that. Probably it will just be a normal mirror, which will not give you that false uh,
Yes.
boost,
Active.
whatever.
Okay.
So yeah,
Removing
so
the
then
trigger, the main
yeah.
trigger, a negative trigger in the story in itself.
So that is, yeah, that's when the queen doesn't, she's
Snow
not
White
that.
has many, many things, Snow White, I think, has a lot of things that we can remove. And
Yeah.
the narrative only changes. Maybe the stepmother realizes she can be a good mother. You never know. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think there was a
Uh,
movie like that in which the Cinderella story is it's taken in a movie form in which she doesn't act as that very delicate princess, but she is like all out,
okay.
like how Renu said.
Okay. Maybe we should watch that, Divya. Thanks for
Yeah, I don't
sharing that.
remember the name, but yeah, I think it's there.
Okay. According
Jack
to
and the
me,
Beanstalk. Jack and the Beanstalk
yes,
also
yes,
we can.
Sophie.
That is not a giant bean, and
Okay.
so it is growing in the plain, and then he becomes a great farmer.
Oh,
Exactly. Exactly.
that's wonderful.
That's a
That's
good
wonderful.
one.
There are so many new stories coming out, isn't it? Being the thief, playing the thief is quite interesting. I think this concept fits the current scenario because every day I hear friends saying that the management in their company has changed. The manager has gone changed, or a pink slip is given to one of my friend. What is he going to do next? There are so lots of uncertainties that happen in our everyday life. What if we are ready for this? We are equipped for this kind of a challenge. Stories are in a great way in which we can enable the children and the others to be
Adults also.
enabled with these kind of scenarios is what I think. Even change in relationships. For the first time when I went to Bangalore for work, I felt really, I felt homesick. I was crying for a lot, many days. I was not mentally prepared for it, but it can be accepted as a part of my life. I wanted to fly high. Maybe, okay, it's okay to take up the challenge. What if I had that mental perspective from the day one? I think it would have been altogether a different story now, in my
I
personal
think Rachel
experience.
has a hand up, Haritha.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. Yeah, please share your thoughts, Rachel.
In the Three Little Pigs, the wolf says, "I'll huff and puff and blow your house down," but then he has a change of heart and he decides to go into business with the Three Little Pigs, and they go into construction. And so he doesn't have to eat the pigs because he has a lot of money and he can go and buy whatever he wants to eat.
That's true. That's true. Another self-enabling, self-empowering story, I think.
Maybe the
That's
wolf says,
altogether a new one.
maybe the wolf says, I love you the way you've constructed your houses. Let's get into business together. We'll start a construction company.
We have so many entrepreneurs here then. That's nice. And even in schools, this happens, isn't it? They want a lavish anniversary to happen, but they have a less budget. Or they have lots and lots of students taken in, but they have less teachers. It can be open for lots of different discussions where, with a given budget, what is the best that can be done? So it may not happen only when we are adult. As a child, there are even with a single story we have seen. We all of you have given so many ideas, isn't it? Just with the Snow White story or with the Cinderella story, each of us had a different idea of how it can grow. So this is the fourth concept of thinking outside the box, acting as a story thief,
No,
thief in
Haritha,
the story.
one more idea I have. Like in Snow White, like Divya was saying, no, they can be a mirror, but the mirror should say, I've never seen such kind eyes in my life before. Oh, you have such beautiful, kind eyes. Why don't you go out and share your kindness, both to the
Yes,
mother,
true.
stepmother, and to Snow White? Why we so focused on
Yes,
outside
yes.
beauty? Why can't we look at the inside? Focus
Yes,
on that's
true.
what I change my stories. I always say she's so brilliant. Her eyes were sparkling mischief. I never
Mm,
talk about her hair was lovely and her skin was this. I don't discuss those. I only talk about the inner qualities. I think that is something we can change even in Snow White.
definitely. Yes, a small change can even change the entire character of that person in the story, isn't it? That's a different idea that you shared, Renu. I'll definitely note it. So let's proceed to the last one. This is like bury the logic. Whatever logic comes to your mind, just keep it aside. Forget the logic, but what if you can add your own magic or your own imagination? I love these kind of stories. For example, why rabbit has long ears or why elephant has long trunk. If you read the story, there will be literally no logic in it. And we all love it, isn't it? That's how many inventions have happened in the history, is what I believe. Let me quickly share the story of why rabbit has long ears. Many years ago, rabbits were really naughty. This one rabbit was totally naughty. He went to different animals, their homes. He stole the food of them. And one day, the goddess was so angry. She lifted the rabbit by its ears, and the rabbit ran inside a hole in a tree. The goddess said, just come out, just come out. I want to see who is the thief. She kept pulling, 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 and the rabbit doesn't want to give up. The rabbit was still stuck in the hole. Because he ate lots of food, his tummy got stuck in the hole itself. However, the goddess tried. The ears got elongated, but the rabbit was still holding to the hole in the tree. So that's the story of how the rabbit got long ears. But of course, there are many other stories why the rabbit has long ears or that elephant has a long trunk. Is there any story that comes to your mind in this idea of burying the logic, but there's a story behind it?
There's a story about a koala bear, why it has a short tail. I forget the story, but there is a story like
Okay.
that. But I feel
Okay.
even with the rabbit, I mean, this is my opinion, Haritha. I feel that, I wouldn't like a story where there's some cruelty in it to the animal. You're pulling
Okay.
the animal with the ears. I don't like that kind of a story. I wouldn't share it. But
Okay.
I'm sure that we ourselves can think of imaginatively. We can think, how did the rabbit's ears grow longer? I'm sure if we use our imagination, we can definitely come out with another version.
Definitely come up
There are
with
lots of
something.
stories like that. Why are the elephant's eyes so small?
Small,
And
yes.
small. Then so many. I can't recollect because I've not really told those stories, but there are quite a
Okay.
few tales.
A lot of
Why is
these
the sky so
portmanteau
high?
stories, I think, are like that, right?
Why is the
Which
sky
one,
so
Divya?
high? They're
Yes.
called
Lot of these wise,
Purkwan.
sorry, I said
Purkwa.
portmanteau, porqua stories are like that. Why the leopards has spots
Spot.
is one that comes to
Why the tiger has stripes.
has
Yes.
stripes. Yeah, a lot
Stripes.
of these
Yes.
stories are there which lead you in that direction.
Yes. I like this story specifically. Why a hen pecks all day? When we see the hens, they keep moving away the sand or the stones, dirt on the way, and they keep pecking. This story tells me that there was a hen. Eagle was flying by. The eagle in one shot fell in love with the hen. So he went to a jewelry shop. He got a ring, and he came and proposed to the hen. The hen admired the eagle equally, and so they both agreed. And he just want to commit to the hen, just you will going to be my bride. To confirm that, I'm going to give you a ring. So the eagle gives the hen a ring, and he says, I'll bring my parents to show you, and then we'll go home and settle somewhere else. It has been years and years. The hen was waiting with that ring. One day she got so fed up that she threw the ring somewhere in the farm. And just the same day, the eagle comes back. And he is like, where is the ring? Does that mean you are already in relationship with someone? The hen is like, okay, stop. I'm not in relationship with anyone. It's just that I'm tired of waiting, so I just threw the ring. Now he is like, no, I can't accept this. You have to find me the ring. I want to put it on you. Or if you're not ready, I'll just go to someone else and then I'll put the ring. Just find the ring. And he just waits. So from that day till this day, whenever you see the hen, the hen is not actually looking for food. She is actually looking for the ring that has been lost many years before. So this was a wonderful story that I read, and I really wanted to quote it today. There was no logic here, isn't it? Eagle falling in love with the hen, but somehow the idea fits. We also search in the same way, right? If we lose something, we throw all the things, we push aside all the things, and we also find the ring in the same way. uh, Out of the blue also some story ideas can come. If you have some ideas, you can share. If you can pick something, some bird or animal from the nature, and you want to create a story for it. Why crows are black, or why trees have green leaves? Okay, just considering the time, I would like to quote two real life use cases. There was an American scientist called Edwin Land. He was actually using the traditional camera where we have to take photo, carry the film to the photographer or the lab. And it takes time for the processing, and we need to wait for a few days to get the photo. So one day when he was taking photo of his daughter, he said, "I can't." She said, "I can't wait for many days. I want to see the photo instantly." So, as he was already an American scientist, he thought, what if this can be true? Instant photograph idea came with that single question of his daughter. She was 7 years old then, and he thought instead of the physical lab being somewhere else, what if the lab can be built in the camera itself? So that was the invention of Polaroid camera, where as soon as you click a picture, within a few seconds you'll have the photo printed, and you can have view it. And this another use case is the bird train. In Japan, we all know there are many fast bullet trains, isn't it? But whenever the bullet trains came out of a tunnel, it let out huge noise that it created a ripple effect or a thunderous effect for people nearby. It was such a disturbance. And another scientist called E.G., he took inspiration from the kingfisher bird. You know, the kingfisher seamlessly moves from air to water, and when the from coming back from water to air, he doesn't make any sound or noise. So, considering the design of its beak, this engineer called E.G., he designed these train called the kingfisher trains in Japan, which not only reduce the sound but also it increased the efficiency of the trains. You know, the faster it became, the energy efficient it became. So taking inspirations from nature also can give us lots of out of the box ideas. So these are my 5 techniques of thinking outside the box. Of course, through stories, any stories have plenty opportunities for us to think outside the box. Just that we need to keep the box open, I think. Any real life cases you have to share, please share. Okay, in that case, we'll just do a quick quiz, and then we'll have a questionnaire. We sometimes say we have to think like a child, but as adult we can't think like a child. But what we can do is we can be someone else. What if we are alien? We are an alien coming from some other planet. Whatever we see in the earth is fresh for us, isn't it? And what is the name that we can associate? What is the use case that we can associate? Can be totally different. So, as few of us have cameras on, I think each of us can take one question and pick the answers and explain why you have taken that. I see Divya's name first. Divya, can you try the first question? And you can pick one option and say how the story can be built on it. A few lines of story that you can develop on it.
I'm sorry, Haritha. Can I go next? I was just
Okay, sure,
checking
sure.
something on the chat.
Okay, no
And
problem, no
I
problem.
missed
Yes,
what
yes,
you
I
said. I
understand
was
that.
sorry.
Okay,
I will
no
just go
problem.
next.
Okay. If anyone is ready, Sophie?
The first option, maybe a
Yes.
robot cooking soup.
Okay, how do you think the story will develop, the Little Red Riding Hood story, if this is being inserted, a robot cooking soup?
So that will be a useful robot for her. So her grandma will not be eaten. There are no challenges. Life becomes easy.
Uh-huh. Okay, even the wolf's hunger will be satisfied, isn't it? If there was a robot cooking soup,
Yes.
grandma can eat, the wolf can eat, Little Red Riding Hood, her mother, maybe the entire animals in the forest can
So
also
there's
have
no villain in the story.
villain in the story. Okay. Any other options that you want to pick? Yes, Renu?
I take the fourth option, a magician turning furniture into animals. The magician is there,
Oh,
the wolf is there, grandma is there. The magician is busy turning furniture into animals, and then the wolf realizes, oh my God, there's a nice animal here. I might as well chase it and have it for dinner. So it chases, maybe it could be a rabbit, it could be something else. It chases it back into the forest and they're having fun. That's what they should be doing, right?
Okay.
Animals having fun,
Okay.
but not in grandma's
Yes,
house.
definitely.
So
Mm-hmm.
grandma has gone into the forest. The wolf has not come into grandma's house. That's how I look at the story.
Okay, great. Wonderful. I see Kajal's hand.
Yeah, I would pick a dragon teaching yoga, helping the agility of the grandma so that she stays healthier for a longer period, and it would be less worry for Red Riding Hood was going because the grandma wasn't well, correct? So one in few of the stories the grandma is not well. So here
Okay,
grandma's health won't be much of a concern, and they can visit grandma when in happy times, correct?
that's
As a
true.
family.
That's true. And she can face the wolf or any beast for that matter, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Definitely. Thank you, Kajal.
Haritha,
Rachel?
Rachel and her hand up.
I
Yes,
was
yes,
going to
Rachel.
say the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, still, you can share your story, Rachel. We love to hear that.
Well, I had the same idea that the dragon was teaching grandma yoga, and so she didn't have to stay in bed anymore. And she became so strong she could even visit Red Riding Hood's house.
Okay,
So they
wonderful. Even
went
I
back and
wish
forth.
when I get. Okay. Thank you, Rachel. When I get old, I think I will have a dragon teaching me yoga. Beautiful. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, we have the next question. If the three little pigs were telling the story from the wolf's point of view, what might he say? We have the options of I was just asking for sugar. I wanted to build houses too. I was misunderstood. I love pigs as friends. I was auditioning for a cooking show. Which will be your pick?
Well, if he was a cunning wolf, he'll say, I was auditioning for a cooking show. And the key ingredients are inside the house, inside your house.
Yes.
I think I picked the one that Renu mentioned already earlier. I think just falling back on that. I wanted to be
Yes.
build houses too. So yeah,
Okay.
let's collab
Mhm.
and do house building.
Collab, grow
Yeah,
together.
grow
Okay. I think
together.
this is we live in a world of collaboration, isn't it? We can be in different fields, but still we have the chances of
Yeah,
collaboration.
exactly.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Divya. I agree to you. Is there any other option one of you wants to pick? Sophie?
Yeah, maybe the third one, I was misunderstood and I love pigs and I was just playing like huff
Okay.
and puff, honestly.
Okay. Great. Okay. Let's go to the next one. What if gravity stopped working for one day? Which story idea is most out of the box? People tie themselves to tree to stay grounded. Cities float into sky and form cloud kingdoms. This is altogether a different one. Cloud kingdoms. Children invent balloon shoes to walk upside down. Animals become the rulers because they adapt fast.
Fourth option.
Oh, okay. Anyone else?
Yeah,
Ramya?
Cloud Kingdoms.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
pick that. Cities float into the sky, and yeah, it's something new,
Okay.
right? Absolutely new. We are
Yes.
all excited. So,
Yeah,
Yes.
even I feel
Cloud
Cloud
Kingdoms.
Kingdoms
Okay.
would be exciting.
Okay. Shall I go to the next one? Sophie, you have an option? Please
Yeah, the
share.
third one, the children enjoy walking upside down their balloon shoes.
Balloon shoes. Okay. This will be a good one for when we tell to the children, isn't it? When
Yes.
we're talking about science lesson, we are teaching them about gravity. If we have options like this, I think they will enjoy a lot. Rachel, yes, Rachel.
People tie themselves to trees to stay grounded, but the trees themselves are
Yes.
floating around
Yeah, I was just
because the
thinking that.
trees are not rooted by gravity.
Okay.
So they bump into each other.
You're good in science, we believe, isn't it,
Wow.
Rachel? Okay. Let's go to the next one. Imagine Cinderella retold as a science fiction story, which ending feels most unexpected. She escapes into a spaceship at midnight. The glass slipper is actually a DNA scanner. The fairy godmother is an AI robot. The princess is actually from another planet. So now we all can turn ourselves into a science fiction author Which option will you pick?
An AI robot.
First
Most
An AI
one.
robot.
these days
Okay.
has answers to everything.
The fourth
The
one,
glass
the
slipper.
prince is actually, sorry, please continue.
No, it's okay. The glass
The
slipper is a
princess.
DNA scanner is also so interesting.
Yes, I found the DNA scanner a interesting out of the box option in itself. And there was someone else along with Renu. Who was it?
Actually, the prince, the fourth one, I was saying the prince is actually
Okay.
from another planet and he takes her and they live there.
Okay, Sophie. Let's go to the last question. This is kind of everyday issue. It can happen to any of us because most of the time, because of the WhatsApp photos, the email, the storage space runs out of space in my phone. Your team faces too many emails. Which out of the box story solution works best? A wizard casts a spell to auto reply. Emails transform into birds that deliver only urgent messages. A superhero deletes spam with laser vision. Office plans absorb emails and bloom with answers. All the four are quite innovative, is what I see.
The last one seems so interesting. Office plants absorb emails and bloom with answers. It's actually very eco-friendly, but solves the thing.
Have more plants in your office.
Yeah.
Yes, that encourages to go green
You
hands.
never know.
Yes, Rachel?
The emails that transform into birds. My son has a message on his answering machine saying, if you need to reach me, I don't answer my phone very often. And if you need to reach me urgently, you can send me a message by carrier pigeon. So if we want to reach my son, we have to call my daughter-in-law.
That's what happens in most of our houses, I believe. And Kajal, do you have any option to share?
The third option is very good. A superhero deletes his spam, so our
With
job
laser.
and our time is saved.
Yes,
The,
definitely.
the first option reminded me of Jim Carrey movie where he becomes God for a day or so, and he replies, everyone's messages as yes, causing a lot of issues. I found that very funny. In my head, I was laughing. I think Wizard cast a spell on to auto reply. I think a lot of people would love that and have a vacation.
Definitely, I agree.
Because I thought the plant, even if it's an office plant, you have to take care of it, right?
Yes,
Wizard is
definitely.
someone who is unrelated. I am not bothered about his feeding or anything. He can take
No
care of himself.
maintenance.
Low
You have
maintenance.
no maintenance employee. That's a wise choice. And
Yes.
that's the end of the story. The quiz with respect to the workshop. Yes, I try to use stories as a gateway to think out of the box. And just with one story, I see it is a great enabler to encourage children and also for adults to think outside the box. And you can share your thoughts on the same. As we are wrapping up, we have only 2 minutes. What is your thoughts?
That was an excellent workshop, Haritha. Well done.
Thank you,
And it
Sophie.
was really engaging.
Thank you, dear.
Yes, Haritha, I enjoyed the workshop. Made us think out
Thank
of
you,
the
Renu.
box. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Enjoyed
Thank
the
you,
workshop, Haritha. Beautiful.
Thank you, Ramya. Thank you, everyone. I was
Awesome, Haritha. Very nice.
once
I
more
mean,
happy.
all the new age thing and all was coming in and made us think.
Yes, we need to
regular
be
stories in a
upgraded
different
and
way.
yes. As a storyteller, I think we should also need to be in sync with the technology and also with the Gen Zs, the children, what they think and what they use in their everyday life to create a rapport when you're trying to tell a story. That's also a key element in these days storytelling.
And we can ask them for different responses also and make them choose the response so that every time they not react and they respond. That I'm very keen on that.
Yes. Yes, Sophie, that's true.
Okay, thank
The
you.
thing is that now, sorry.
Thank you for a very interesting workshop. It was wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Eric, for this great